everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and today I'm jumping back to day 1 of By the Well for God's Walk This Way devotional. Like I said before, I usually bounce back and forth between the different devotionals to journal because I read the whole devotional at one time usually, and then I just star the ones I definitely want to journal in my Bible, and so that is why I'm jumping back to day 1 today. Day 1 is giving us basically a general overview about imitating their faith, those that we find in the Bible who have a strong faith. And we read in Colossians 1:10, it says, "Walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of God." So I want to create a wood paneling look for this background. And so first off, I kind of dust the whole background with some frayed burlap distress oxide color. And then I'm going through the stencil also with some frayed burlap and a little bit of walnut stain. This will give me the camp woodsy kind of look I'm going for this page. Next, I'll be grabbing the library pocket stamp set, and I'm only going to be using the index card part of this stamp set because I'll be tucking it behind a cluster. And I stamp it on a tag that I had because I wanted that manila colored, but I didn't have any paper that color, and I ended up feeding it through my typewriter with a Charles Spurgeon quote I found. Now, this quote was not in the devotional, but I thought it really pertained to day 1's message. And Charles Spurgeon writes, "Do not select big things as your special line, but glorify the Lord also in the littles, being fruitful in every good work." And that quote really struck me. I know it's something that I've heard many times before, but if we can't be faithful in the little things, why would God give us bigger things? And so that also can be seen in bearing fruit. We need to bear fruit in the little things just as much as the big things. So this stamp right here is actually what prompted me to create this whole page. I really wanted to use this stamp that said bear fruit and had that cute little bear on it. So I ended up stamping it on the same tag, color tag, and then I'm going to watercolor it in with some fossilized amber distress oxide and some wild honey so it has some blending in it. Now, something that I recently started doing is if you press on the lid of your distress oxide just a little bit, you can get just enough of color transfer on that lid when you open it up so you can use the watercolor and you don't have to take out your mixed media mat or anything like that. Here I am also grabbing one of the new stencils I got from By the Well for God, and it is just a number stencil from Tim Holtz. I am pushing some embossing ink through that and then using some embossing glaze in the color, speckled egg, I believe it was. And that adds just a little different element to the background as well. Now, I do have to tell you, embossing in your Bible isn't always easiest. Actually, right here, I dropped my whole entire Bible with the embossing glaze going everywhere all over my desk. I'm sure I still have loads of it everywhere, but I tried to save it and it still looked okay even though it kind of fell all over my desk, and I saved most of the embossing glaze, so all is well. I grabbed both the boots and the bear fruit card and distressed the outside a little bit so there wasn't any stark whiteness on the page. And then I will move on to trying to figure out how I'm going to lay out this cluster. I know I want to add a little bit more yellow to this page, so I definitely add a bow on top, and then I want to add a third piece of yellow. So I grab that same fabric and just fold it back and forth, and then I'm going to hand stitch it because a lot of times hand stitching these little details is faster than going to my sewing machine and getting that all prepped. I find that if I lay a stamping block on top of what I am trying to sew and have it folded the right way I want it, then that stamping block will help kind of press it almost like an iron just a little bit so it's easier to hand sew those little pieces. I'm going to tie that in the back and then I will glue it down with my Barely Arts precision glue. After I've done this, I decided I want a little bit more of hand stitching details on this page. And so I take that bare fruit card and I'm going to end up puncturing 12 holes in it because I want to end up with 3 X's. And what I've found is that you can use a washcloth to do this. If you just double up your washcloth and puncture the holes first before you try to thread anything, it makes the whole threading process much easier. And it's also cheaper because you probably have a washcloth at home. You don't necessarily need one of those specialty puncture boards. I'm not sure what they're called, but the washcloth works great. And I'm going to thread each one of those holes through twice because it ends up making them look a little bit more full in the holes, and that's what I prefer. Now there's one more thing I'm going to do to this bare fruit card. I start layering everything down and gluing it, and I decide afterwards that I really want that corner kind of dog-eared because it just makes it imperfect. I don't want things to necessarily be perfect, so I'm going to dog-ear that card and also use a little tiny attacher stapler on it, and I really like how that ended up looking. So gluing everything down, and then I will do one final little touch to this page that kind of brings it all together. I'm going to glue down that bare fruit sign, and then I will add glossy accents to it to make it shiny like a real sign. Now the glossy accents goes on kind of cloudy, but just let it dry and it'll clear right up. If you've enjoyed watching this page, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can go ahead and follow me over on Instagram at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting. I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. God bless.